guys, my name is McKinnon and I am the co-host of Tumor Talk. Today we have a very special guest with us, Laura Barbieri, and she also has NF2. Neurofibromatosis is a genetic disorder which tumors grow on all the nerves throughout the body, and yeah, we're just here to kind of talk and just relate and kind of see some of the things that we go through. One of the things that I did want to talk to you about was relationships. Yeah. So I noticed there's an engagement ring.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. Let me see it.
Thank you, my fiance. We'll be very happy.
You did a great job, right? So kind of tell me about like your relationship, but like I kind of also want to know in terms of like NF2 and you being diagnosed, were you guys together before this?
No, so he's, we've been dating for about 2 years and I was diagnosed 10 years ago. So I've been living with it for a while and I've gone through like the entire gamut of dating with this disorder, which has been super interesting and kind of challenging.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the kind of thing I don't generally tell people about my NF2.
I feel very special.
I'm getting a little bit more vocal about it now. I will start to tell people now because I am deaf in one ear, and it's gotten too hard for me to try to like
navigate around them. Like I notice myself like on the street when I'm talking to somebody they don't know, I'm like constantly like walking around them.
Yeah, so I guess like while like in the whole dating thing, it was always a thing where I would like, for the first couple dates, I'd try to just like position myself accordingly, and like if it didn't work out, I'd kind of like nod my head and just like pretend like everything's fine, and like if I get a second date out of it, great, and we'll try again next time. But generally, it would come to a point where I would be like, oh yeah, I'm deaf in my right ear, and they'd kind of like say okay, and it's kind of like this funny like little dance that you play with each other for a little while. Like, do I ask more about it? Do I not ask?
Right.
What do you say? And so like generally, like I would tell people that I had a benign brain tumor, and that like I had it removed, but like I don't know, like jumping into a whole like bigger genetic disorder was like a little bit scary for me to just be like, okay, here's my baggage, like here's everything, so like really only with people who I would get like pretty close with, I knew I could trust, what I actually tell. But when I told my fiance, I can't even remember how it came up. I think it was like in little bits and pieces that it came up. Like I think we kind of went the route first of like, I had this, I'm deaf in one ear. Then it was like, it was a brain tumor. Then like, this brain tumor is actually this whole other thing.
And what's he like?
So he's like taken it totally in stride. Like he wasn't thrown by any of this, which is, I mean, one of the reasons I knew that he was, somebody I wanted to marry.
What about the hearing loss part? Like, were you nervous to talk to him about you potentially being deaf?
Yeah. Like really, really, really super nervous. I mean, like that's the one thing where I sort of like, I guess, I have this internal fear that if, I become deaf, that it's gonna
change the relationship.
Yeah, of course. And that other people aren't gonna be as like interested in having a relationship with me, that like, there are gonna be difficulties. Like, it's definitely like, it's not just me. It's like all the like family, friends, like loved ones, my fiance that are involved in this too. So,
I mean, like how do you kind of like cope with that? Because I feel like I have a lot of similar like similar situations where I have a boyfriend, and like I told him, last season on Tumor Talk, I kind of told everybody about this, but I told him that, kind of at first that like, I didn't tell him about it, and I thought I was like such a mean person because he would always come up to me and be like, hey, and I just wouldn't hear him.
So you didn't tell him anything?
Well, this is like when we were friends. Okay. Like, what I'm saying? This was like we were friends, and I would see him like out at parties.
I feel like a terrible friend. I'm like, people are like saying things to me, I'm out to dinner, they're like asking for my order, and I'm just like, and they think I'm ignoring them.
Yeah, right,
anyway, sorry.
That same situation. Yeah. So we ended up dating, and I would tell him like, I'm switching medicines, but like I wouldn't tell him. This is like before we started dating. Like I'm like, I had to go to the hospital and switch medicines. I had to go to the hospital, but I wouldn't really tell him.
Same. Yeah.
Like I'm switching to an IV and have to go get infused.
Yeah.
Like nothing like that. And so
like I'd have to say like, I had to go get an MRI today. They'd be like, for what? And I'd be like,
here we go. Let me just like unpack all my baggage right here.
Yeah.
So and then like the first night that we started dating, I had a friend that came up and was like, we were at a party and he was feeling a little good, and he came up to my boyfriend, was like, so how do you feel about McKinnon losing her hearing? And he was like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was kind of like the big thing I think for me was the hearing loss.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of like unpacked it all. I was like, moving in.
Yeah, you know, like at the end of the day, I feel it really all comes down to the hearing loss at the end of the day, or
Yeah.
like, right? Like that's the ultimate, like, oh no, like this is where we're headed. And it's like, it's not that I feel so bad about having a genetic disorder. Like if it wasn't doing anything to me that was going to affect my quality of life, like in that major of a way,
Or
like,
affect your relationship.
Right,
with
exactly. Right, yeah, totally.